Lukasevich?
Yeah, a couple items. First and foremost, in regards to drive sober or get pulled over month. I think important for our under 21 or newer drivers to recognize that driving impaired actually begins with your first drink. A simple .02 blood alcohol content can get you 12 to 18 months suspension, 6 to 48 months in jail, and a $500 to a $5,000 fine. Again, be conscientious when you're going out with your friends, have a designated driver. The fact that Jim Thorpe is here is probably fitting because I have a couple comments about Mock Chunk Lake Park, and I'd be remiss if I didn't mention and thank Jim Thorpe for reinforcing the actions that the Board of Commissioners took to protect Mock Chunk Lake Park, mostly as we're getting ready here the weekend after next to roll into 4th of July weekend, one of the most highly utilized weekends for Mock Chunk Lake Park. I'm ecstatic to say that as of today's personnel report, we have a full complement of lifeguards. I don't know if even Wayne has ever seen that before, probably going back to time, where we have 1 supervisor lifeguard plus 10 supervisors. And let's hope we can retain that throughout the majority of the season. This past last week met with the director of the park, Dave, and the lifeguard supervisor to start looking at finalizing a training plan for the lifeguards, something we haven't done in the past. So ensuring that their skills stay honed throughout the entire season and they're not able to apathy, throughout the season. And as part of that, we subsequently met with our EMA director, and Mark Nalesnik is going to develop a tabletop exercise that we can run internal to the Parks Department to, again, test the response to a water rescue and recovery situation, with the aspiration to be, after we run the tabletop exercise in July, to look at the feasibility of an FTX, so go from a TTX to an FTX, a full training exercise in August, where we can bring in first responders, other entities and organizations who might have to respond to either a rescue or recovery. So good things moving forward in regards to fully maximizing the value of the lifeguard supervisor. We're also looking at the potential of procuring some valuable lifeguard training equipment, and that's being assessed right now. But the Parks is moving forward with some communications gear to facilitate communications between the lifeguards as they're actually out there in their chairs and able to communicate back to the lifeguard station. As I mentioned, 4th of July, what a great month for county residents and others to connect or reconnect with Mock Chunk Lake Park. And I emphasize that reconnect or connect opportunity for 2 reasons. First and foremost, 1 through 4 July, which we're considering the 4th of July weekend, actually goes to Saturday through a Tuesday, right? Mock Chunk Lake Park has a modified admission policy that gives Carbon County residents, pavilion renters, campers, residents of Coaldale who have students in Panther Valley High School, and membership holders kind of priority access to Mock Chunk Lake Park. And look at, for those individuals, county residents, $2 for children, free for children under 3, and it's simply $3 for adult for a full day of outdoor opportunity, recreational experience. I must mention also, disabled individuals and senior citizens are also free at Mock Chunk Lake Park all days that the beach is open. Overlapping on top of this specific weekend is the inaugural run of Carbon Transit's Route 741, Mock Chunk Lake. So the communities of Nesquehoning, Lansford, Summit Hill, and Jim Thorpe, those residents are going to have low-cost transportation, $2 each way to Mock Chunk Lake Park. And it's going to be basically running from 10 till just after 5 o'clock in the afternoon on Saturday, starting with 4th of July weekend, 1 July. So I want to thank Carbon Transit for working that initiative. The routes are already published on the county website, our social media page, Carbon Transit. Those routes will be in Google Maps Transit by the end of next week also. And again, $2 to get to Mock Chunk Lake Park from those 4 communities. I hope the residents of those communities will take advantage of it. The buzz has been really strong so far on social media. And we are, assuaging some of the concerns in regards to increased safety. There are additional steps being taken and being considered to ensure those individuals arriving at the park by any means of transportation have a safe and enjoyable opportunity out there at Mock Chunk Lake Park. That's all I have.